So Fintan, look, let's talk about Kerry hurling. One of the big things that's come out this week, it's I suppose been a topic of conversation for a while, and with the fixture task force report, is the idea of possibly going to 6 teams in both provinces, so Munster and Leinster. Are Kerry in a position where you feel like going into the Munster Championship would be a good idea?
Well, I suppose under 20 we're playing in the Munster A Championship this year, which is a big, I suppose, development. Now, I'm not saying it'll be a huge success, but it'll give the players exposure at that kind of level. Ultimately, you'd be hoping that we'd be more competitive. We're not ready to compete in Munster at the minute, but that's where we ultimately hope to get to. When you see where Laois went last year and how competitive they were after the Joe McDonagh, it kind of proved Joe McDonagh's worth. Now, that's not saying that you couldn't have 6 teams in Munster and 6 teams in Leinster. I suppose to answer your question, we'd love to be able to compete in Munster, but I don't know are we there yet. Even last year, like with the way the games were in the Kerry Football Championship, I don't think we were as ready for the Joe McDonagh as other teams maybe. So it's somewhere we'd like to be and somewhere we're hoping to get to, I suppose, to answer your question.
Is it possible that, like, if Kerry jumped up into the Munster Championship and took a few heavy beatings because, like you're saying, maybe they're not quite ready, that might actually set hurling back in Kerry?
Yeah, look, I think the Joe McDonagh is hugely competitive and it's hugely beneficial to what we're doing at the minute. I think playing under 20 in Munster will help us. We got Cork in the first round. They're probably one of the better teams in it, so it's probably not a nice draw to get. Now, having said that, all those teams will be strong, but look, I don't know about setting it back. I don't think there's any value in one team getting beaten. I can't see players being too interested in going and getting hammered every... Now, I'm not saying to get hammered, but if they're not competitive every day to go out, I don't know, it's the right place for them, you know?
So what would be the right balance then? And do you think actually if they were to go with both provinces with 6 that you could, and then just picking examples, not necessarily these, but maybe maybe Laois or Westmeath or Carlow or whoever go into one into Leinster and one into Munster, and then like over time, if Kerry do well enough into Joe McDonagh that they get promoted up?
Yeah, 100%. I think in fairness to Westmeath and Carlow and Laois, they seem to be the 3. Like Westmeath have been in 2 Joe McDonagh finals now in a row. They're league champions. They'll be playing Division 1 in the Hurling League this year, which will give them huge exposure to it, to the top ranked teams. And I think they deserve, like, if they were going 6 and 6, and I'm not trying to do down my own lads, but I think you should be on merit. That's why I thought, like, when the Joe McDonagh was launched, if Kerry won it, they were always in this where they had to play a playoff against the Munster team, where other teams didn't, and I didn't see the fairness in that. I think it'd be, if you're going to be fair with it, they should, if they're going 6 and 6, the 2 highest ranked teams from Joe McDonagh, which at the minute would probably be either Westmeath, who lost the final last year, or Carlow, who came down. Do you know what I mean? If we're good enough to get to the final and are doing 2 up and 2 down, then fine, yeah, we're good enough to go up and try and compete. But at the minute, we're maybe not at that level, and that's the level we want to get to.
Because can you reflect on 2019 as a whole for Kerry? I mean, it all came down to that massive game against Offaly at the very end, which you won, which relegated them and kept you going.
Yeah, look, I suppose that was kept us into Joe McDonagh. I suppose the game up in Antrim into Joe McDonagh was from the whole of 2019. We lost the league final against Westmeath, probably in a hurricane. Disappointed. Westmeath were the better team, definitely, and they got up, and the exposure they'll get from winning that league final is massive, being in Division 1. So that was a huge kind of a carrot for us, that game. So that was a real disappointment. And then following on from that, I suppose, we lost up in Antrim the first round of Joe McDonagh, which put us on the back foot, and it came down to a kind of a 50-50 between ourselves and Offaly. Whoever lost would have went down to the Christie Ring. So while it was nice to get over the line and beat Offaly, I suppose it was a bit disappointing the way that Joe McDonagh went last year, you know.
What about some of the players coming through in Kerry? Everyone talks about Shane Conway as one of these lads. He'd be good enough in any county. Are there a lot of very good players coming through?
Yeah, some really good talent, yeah. In fairness, Barry Mahoney, I think, will be on the Fitzgibbon team at LIT in a couple of weeks. People will see him. He real talented hurler as well, and a dual player, played under 20 football last year and came and then played under 20 hurling afterwards. So I'm not sure what direction he'll go. Obviously, that's the thing in Kerry. If you're a jewel and if he gets offered a senior football chance, then he's 20 years of age. Every young fella's dream is probably to go at Crow Park with the footballer. So look, I'm not sure what road he'll take, and we'll just wish him the best of luck. I'd love to have him available as a hurler because I think he's like Shane. Everyone will be talking about how good he is and how talented he is, and the fact he's from Kerry. I think he could really light up a Fitzgibbon kind of competition for LIT. So the likes of Jack Goulden, who was with UL last year, is unfortunately gone to London this year working. So that's the kind of thing in the tier 2 counties. You're always trying to balance the ins and outs of a county panel. There isn't the same maybe attraction to stay there all the time,
And are you still commuting over from Waterford?
Well, yeah, Tipperary.
Sorry.
Tip, yeah, I live in Tip. Yeah,
do you? Jeez, I have that wrong. Sorry, I'm just mixing it up with the fact you're involved.
Yeah, I was involved in Waterford, and in fairness, I'm working in Lismore in Waterford as well. So half the time I come from Waterford, but I go back to Tip. It's complicated.
So you have a nice little commute every time you go down to train. How long is it?
It's about 2 hours. Yeah, about 2 hours of a drive. Yeah, so I better get better at the drive.
So that fair point. Does that kind of wear on you over time? Are you okay with it? Is it a bit frustrating?
No, I tell you what, it's good from the point of view of you get to a lot of your ringing and caring for people on the phone, like ringing. Like the other night now we were training. There was a chap in bad form. I was able to ring him on the way home and spend an hour talking to him. That usually you mightn't have that kind of time, but because it was 10:30, there was nothing on the radio. Sometimes I listen to your podcast, but there was nothing. Yeah, but there was nothing on the radio. So I was able to ring and give him an hour and kind of talk to him about what was bothering him and try and give him a bit of help or whatever. So from that point of view, it could be helpful. And even on the way down, you'd be kind of organising stuff on the phone. That's kind of passing the time. So maybe I need to get off the phone when I'm driving. I don't know what this shit.
This interview has been a car crash. Thanks very much, Fintan.
No matter.